Going to take a look at a few key things that we learned this week that we simply must keep in the front of our minds as we barrel roll into the weekend. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about this. We talked about this on Monday night's show. It was very important, and it's worth repeating. We have shared the video on social media, and I welcome you guys to pass that video around and share it as much as we can. Of course, I'm talking about our new mission to drain Loch Ness. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are draining Loch Ness. We're going to find the Loch Ness Monster. We are ending the age-old debate on if or if not there is, in fact, a monster in that water. We're going to suck it out. We're going to suck the water out and get a good look at that monster. All right? We have to be strong and diligent about this. There will be people that say, that's not a good idea. He's a monster. And look, if he's a nice monster, we'll plop him back into the water somewhere else and just keep a good eye on him. You understand? Draining the Loch Ness is not necessarily a death sentence for Loch Ness. Maybe a lot of the other wildlife in there, which isn't good, but certain sacrifices have to be made. We got to stay on track. Don't worry about my own talking points that contradict what I'm trying to feel and say. Drain Loch Ness. End of story. All right, also, we had a good look at this on Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, we took a good look at an ongoing story that was coming up for a couple weeks, and now I think is maybe past us, but it's going to happen again. Of course, I'm talking about the Saharan dust storm, what they were calling the biggest one in 50 years, the Godzilla dust storm they were calling it. Literally, sand blows off the Sahara floor over the ocean, and then scatters all across the America, you know? Just scatters and scatters sand everywhere. And that's not a good thing. We do not want that year after year, and I assume it's only going to get worse. You know, I assume that next year will be even more blowy than this year was. How do we fix that? Do we wear silly helmets on our heads? Do we wear beekeeper outfits? No. Let me hear you. We shellac the Sahara. We get a lot of cans of shellac, and then we just, you know. And I'm not personally going to do it. I'm not personally going to be the one shellacking, but I would like my name to. I would like to have a statue. Once it's all shellacked, I'd like to have a big statue, a big one. You know, something that looks like the Sphinx. Something that looks like the Sphinx, but it's a Clownvis statue in the desert. And that's all I ask. I don't need anything else, you know. It's not a money thing. I'm not trying to make money off the shellacking, you know. I'm not asking shellac for a sponsorship or nothing. I am simply giving the idea and asking for a big, big statue. And, of course, the last thing we learned, which is pretty important and something worth remembering we talked about this week. Yesterday's show, we talked about how in Michigan there's a bill that they're trying to make it illegal to microchip your employees. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you this. I microchipped the whole crew yesterday, and everybody's happy. Everybody's good. And I highly recommend each and every one of you, if you have employees, or even if you just have a friend or a family member that you want to keep track of, get that chip in them now. You know, I think you can get the chips on Amazon.com. Amazon Prime is what it says, but I think if you don't have to be a Prime member to get these chips, you can get the chips. If you're not a Prime member, I think you just have to pay for the shipping, and it might not come in 2 days. But get yourself some microchips. Get them in your friends and family and your employees before the man makes it illegal. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just a couple things we talked about this week that I want you to remember as we barrel roll into the weekend. This has been Weekly Review.